Pooh's Double Trouble is the first segment of the 19th episode of the first season of My Friends Tigger and Pooh, and this is really quite sweet, and it also made me think about something that I don't think I've ever thought about before in terms of humans. Definitely thought about it in terms of animals. It's certainly very interesting, so I will say there'll be spoilers in this as I discuss what happens, but it's not one of those episodes where there's a mystery that we, the viewer, have to try and work out. The answer to the mystery is actually very clear to the viewer because we see that there is a mirror being moved around. I won't give completely the context of why this mirror is being moved around. I don't want to spoil everything. But there is a legitimate reason for why this is happening, and Pooh Bear happens to spot the mirror in the distance, and he sees another Pooh Bear. As he says throughout this, there's another Pooh in the woods, and he obviously goes towards it, but by this point the mirror has gone and this other Pooh Bear has disappeared, so they have to try and work out how there possibly could have been another Pooh Bear. And as I said, we the viewer know that it's because of the mirror. I feel like that's something that's even obvious to younger children as well. I don't think it's something they tried to hide or tried to mask at all. I think it was very obvious that we know more than the characters in the episode do, which I thought was a really interesting concept, and it worked really well. But the thing that made me think is that I often show my cat herself in the mirror, and I do wonder if she realises that that's her. But I've never thought about that in the context of babies and children. And obviously, slightly older children are aware that it's their reflection, but there must be a point where young babies don't quite realise that it's them. And if anybody knows roughly what age children start to recognise their own reflection, I'd love to know. I'd be very curious to find that out. I feel like if a child is old enough to watch My Friends Tigger and Pooh, or at least old enough to follow along the narrative, then they're of an age where they know what a reflection is. So I don't really think this is about learning about reflections. I think it's more just a fun story with some really cute writing, some really nice dialogue between the characters, and of course the animation is really sweet as well. So I rather enjoyed it. I do tend to prefer the ones with a stronger mystery where we, the viewer, have to try and work out what's happening as the story unfolds. And as I said, that's not quite the case here. We do know what's happening from the beginning, but I thought the narrative was well written and well developed. Everything unfolded really well. We had some nice dialogue, and it made me think as well. So not too bad at all. I also think it's a fun story for young children in a kind of pantomime style where they know it's the mirror and they can shout as much as they want to the television that it's the mirror, but it's going to take Pooh and the others a bit of time to come to that realisation. All things considered, Pooh's Double Trouble is not a bad episode.